There was power, and there is power, a great deal of power in 9/11. There was some kind of power, perhaps power of many kinds on that day, 10 years ago. There was power, some kind of power, in the aftermath of the days and weeks that followed. And you only need watch the television, read the newspapers, listen to NPR, or talk to a neighbor to understand September 11th, 2001 lingers in our midst, still with a great deal of power of some kind. Power shaping and defining an entire generation in this country and in others as well. Power challenging a way of being, changing for good or for ill our way of viewing ourselves and our world. The power of 9/11, now these 10 years later, can have a destructive, life-depleting, fearful power. Or maybe it is possible for 9/11, now that it has indeed happened, to become a creative force in our world if and only if we allow the Spirit of God to lead us through further into our identity as co-creators with God. Now let me be very, very, very clear here. Listen really carefully to what I'm saying. I am in no way saying the events of 9/11 were good. They were destructive, damaging, wrong, evil, just as were decisions and actions that were damaging to many countries and helped set the stage for an event like 9/11. Today, on this 10th anniversary of September 11th, 2001, as we look back, for many all around the world, this is a day of remembering, of honoring, of grieving, of paying tribute. We've heard many, many moving stories in recent days of lives lost, of heroes and sacrifice, of lives changed forever and continuing on, of people coping then and now with overwhelming challenges as a result of this day 10 years ago. All kinds of events and memorials and special moments mark this day. But paying tribute and honoring the losses, all of the losses, in any meaningful and lasting way is a complex, multifaceted, ongoing work in progress. It involves grieving the losses as we are able. It means learning all that we can from what has been in a deep and broad way, willing to see truths sometimes we would rather avoid or deny. And it requires walking into the future with a God who makes a way through the waters, paves a road through the wilderness, and takes us right on through the midst of the raging storm. It is by opening our lives to this creative God of future and hope that we discover creative, constructive power that can merge even out of 9/11 and live into this power, which is the very best way that we can honor this day, by living into the power that can come from this time. If I were to sum up quickly how some are discovering this creative power, I would say this. First, there is an ongoing awareness dawning on many over these past 10 years, an awareness that we really do not understand each other very well, especially those who believe and think and live very differently from ourselves. And in many circles, a lot of work is being done to increase understanding. Second, many are beginning to realize the hard work before us. Serious effort is needed to move beyond the superficial into deep understanding of one another. It will take time and energy to develop trust and build bridges as we work together on cooperative ventures, joining forces toward common goals and values. And third, Many are beginning to find the courage and the integrity to admit that every religious tradition, at least the predominant traditions, including our own, have individuals and groups who have strayed from the essential tenets of their faith, no longer living in the light of the creative higher being, but rather promoting destruction, violence, and evil in our world. Just as in every religious tradition, at least the predominant ones, including our own, there are individuals and groups who really embrace, who actually live out day by day the truth and justice and peace and love of the creative power of the universe. The creative power that is the foundation of their faith, abiding with them, abiding with us, and leading them and us into the ongoing light of creative being and newness of life. When we allow ourselves to take the life journey given to us, working together, learning from one another, holding hands with the diverse variety of all of the children of God, then and only then, new creation can emerge out of the dust and ashes of destruction, perhaps even ushering into being the idyllic world for which our souls long, the Gemütlichkeit, the shalom, the new creation emerging out of chaos at the hand of the creative power of the universe, the creative, holy power longing to empower each one of us to be a transforming force in our world. Will you pray with me? Holy One of all creation, Spirit placed in us from the beginning of time, on this day of remembering and looking back, may we embrace our history, honestly and courageously embrace our whole history, transforming our past into a creative, powerful force, moving us into a future and a hope, empowering us to live new beginnings and newness of life. Amen.